Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Fitr Concept. So happy Sunday, hence the outfit. I'm going to church in just some few minutes. But before that, I want us to edit this video and publish it because on the 4th or 5th of this month, which is June, our Muslim brothers and sisters are actually going to be breaking their fast. So we want to create this for them and let's just get started. Welcome to Fitr Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. So first off, let's open up our application. For this tutorial, I'm using Photoshop CC 2018 and I'll go ahead and create a new document or click on File, click on New, and I'll set my width and height to 2K by 2K. The resolution, as always, I'll leave it at 300 and just click on OK. You can also name it whatever you want. So let's zoom in a little bit. The first thing I'm going to create is actually a shape, and to do that I'll be using the pen tool instead of any other shapes tool. So I'll just click on the pen tool or P on your keyboard. Make sure it's set to shape and not path or anything else. And the fill color is set to a fill and not none fill. The stroke is set to none, and basically that is all. I'm also going to bring up my rulers, so hold down Ctrl and press R. So the rulers just pop up and you just click and drag. Once you get to the center, it's just going to snap in like so. Okay, so if I zoom in a little bit with my zoom tool, that's Z on your keyboard, I'm actually going to create a shape. You know what, let me flip around the colors so that it doesn't become white on white and you wouldn't see. So I'll probably click somewhere at the center. So you know what, let me bring this somewhere around here. So somewhere slightly above the center over here. Then I'll create an arc. I'll bring it down to probably around this area. I'll create an arc like so. I can also indent it and make it something like this. Now once I've done that, I'll just hold down the Alt key. Now you realize anytime you hold down the Alt key, the cursor changes from the pen tool to this sort of weird arrow. So you can bring this point back down like so, and I'll probably bring it over here. Click one more time. So once I'm done, I'm just going to hold down the Alt key and bring this back to where I started. Now the last shape, I'm going to create something very close to the center, but I'm going to make it somewhat like this. Probably try to curve it up a little bit. So once I've done that, I'll just click on the center and just create an arc like this. Okay, so let me zoom out a little bit with my pen tool still selected whilst holding down the shift so that I get a perfect perpendicular line. I'll just click at the bottom like so. I'll click somewhere around here and I'll just click at the closing loop end and hit enter on my keyboard. So basically this is what I have. So what I'm going to do is actually duplicate this shape. So click and drag onto the new layer icon or just Ctrl J on your keyboard. Bring up the move tool, that's V on your keyboard. Bring up the transform options, Ctrl T. Right click and go to flip horizontal. So this is going to flip it horizontally like so, and I'll place the second one at the center like this. Now I'm going to select both of them, right click and go to merge shapes. So if I merge them up, now we have them being just one solid shape moving in like that. Now the second thing I'm going to do is actually duplicate these two layers. So Ctrl J, and the one at the bottom I'm actually going to set it to a yellow color. So I think somewhere around here should be just fine. So I'm going with FFF000 and click on OK. Now I'm going to use the arrow key, so the top arrow key, and I'm going to bring this slightly to the top like this, and I'll reduce the size to somewhat like so. Okay, now once I'm done, I'll just select both of them and scale them up so that the yellow part also move outside the borders of my main work. So this is looking nice already, but obviously I'm not going to set this to a black color, so I'm just going to double click. Since it is a shape, I'll just double click and change it to white, just as I wanted from the beginning. Okay, so you know what, let's just group this up. So Ctrl G, and I'll call this I don't know, borders. I'm sure you can come up with a better name for yours. And I'm actually going to create a layer beneath the borders group. So this layer is going to be my background apart from the logged one I have over here. So just go to the adjustment panel and click on gradients, and I'm actually going to select a blue color. So I'll just click on the gradients presets over here and select the first one, which is foreground to background. I'm actually going to change the colors. So for the first part, I'll just click on color and select a blue color like this. So 0F68BA, and I'll click on OK. And the last part, by double clicking, I can also select a lighter blue color. So that is 6CBFFF, and I'll click on OK. Now OK one more time. I'm actually not going to make it linear, so I'll click on the style and make sure it's set to radial. Now you can see the dark part is like so. I don't want that. I actually want to reverse it, so I'll place the lighter part at the center like this, and I'll just click on OK. Now I can go ahead and hide my rulers. I don't need them at the moment. So in case you are still wondering why you have to pay something like this, people are actually breaking their fast, and if you have friends like that, you can actually share this content with them, tell them that you created it yourself. And also, if you own a business, you can actually put your logo and your name on it and say this is from you, as a way of advertising for everyone to see. So you know what, let's just continue the tutorial. Okay, so let's go ahead and import an image. So I was originally going for this image, but I decided after some time that I'll probably use this one instead. So that's what I'm going to do. And fortunately for me, it was a PNG file, so the background is already removed for me. That made it a lot easier. Now if you want an image like this to use, it's very simple. Just go to Google and search for Mox Vector. Now if you are not finding any of the ones you want, you can also Google Mox Clip Art and you should find some of them. I'm actually going to still leave this link in the description below in case you want to use the exact same thing. So Ctrl A, Ctrl X, Ctrl W, we'll close this up, and I'll paste it on top of the, actually beneath the borders, so somewhere around here. And let's resize this. So I think somewhere around here should be just fine, and I'll click on OK. Now obviously I'm not going to set this to black, so instead of just control clicking and brushing in with white color, I think you can also do that, but that seems like a long way. I'll just select that layer, go to FX, and I'll click on color overlay. So this is going to have a color overlapping what I already have, and I'll set that color to white. Now make sure that blend mode is set to normal, or this might actually not work. Now whilst we are in the layer style, just click on drop shadow and create a drop shadow like so, and you can go ahead and play with the size. I'll set my size to about 40 pixel and my opacity probably around 30 and the distance probably around 10, and just click on OK. So what I'm going to do is actually apply this layer style to the white background, which is this one, or probably, you know what, let's apply it to the yellow one for first. So that's going to be the drop shadow, and I think I'll just stick with just the yellow one for now, and probably tweak this around to something I'm much comfortable with. So I think for this I'll go with an opacity of about 50 and click on OK. So for now I'm just convenient with what I have. Now just on top of the gradient fill, I'm going to create a new layer. You know what, let me name this to Mosque. It makes it a lot easier to find, and I'll probably call this STARS, stars. Now to create the stars, currently I have just one brush, so what I'm going to do is I'll go to window and make sure that brush settings is set. You can also press F5, that's the short key. So the first thing is to go into shape dynamics and make sure that it is set to 100%, and after that go into scattering and make sure it is also set to 1000%, so that we have all of these different brushes coming in. Now set the count to 1, because if you increase it, it's going to look weird. You can see the preview over here, so I'm just going to set it to 1. I think I like it this way. Now the bigger the brush, the more indifferent the brush strokes are going to look. So currently you can see I have something like this. If I reduce the brush size to somewhere around 50, you can see how this looks. So I think I'll go with something like this, but no, let's try to recreate that. So I'll move in, down, then I'll go up again, then I go this way, and I think this is looking nice. I will probably go with this. So you can create as many as you want. I can create another layer, and this time around I'll increase the size to probably 200 pixel, and I'll create one at the bottom like so, but it is looking too much, so I'll probably reduce the opacity to about 20%. So something like this is looking nice to me. So I'll go ahead and group this up. So select both layers, Ctrl G to group, and I'll call this stars group. Now create another group on top, and I'll call this the moon group. This time around I'm actually going to create an ellipse or a perfect circle, so I'll just be using the ellipse tool from the shapes tool. So make sure that is selected. Now create a perfect circle by holding down the shift key and just click and drag like so. So if I use my move tool, I can just place this somewhere at the center like so. I'm actually going to duplicate this because I don't want to create a full moon, so Ctrl J, and the one on top I'm actually going to select it to any color I want. We don't actually need this, so probably red. Then I'll place this somewhere around here so that we can see our full moon like so. If you move it horizontal, it's going to look like this, so just go ahead and play with how you want it. So I think somewhere around here is okay. Now I'll hide that. Control click on the shape, so you can see we have these options with the cursor. So control click, I'll go into the one I'm actually using, which is the white ellipse, and I'll create a layer mask. Now you can see it is showing the parts we don't want. So with that layer mask selected, not the image itself, the layer mask selected, hold down Control and press I. That is going to invert the selection. Now like I said, we never needed it, so I'll go ahead and delete that. So I can resize this and place it somewhere around here. I'm actually noticing something with my image. It is not well centered, so I'll bring up my rulers one more time and I'll place it at the center, and I'll try to align this somewhere around here. So I think this is looking much better. Now again, hide the rulers and hide, no, let's keep the line for now. So for the group moon, I'm actually going to create one more thing. This time around is going to be a star, so I'll select the polygon tool. Make sure that the size up here is set to 5. Now I'll click one time instead of clicking and dragging, just once, and make sure that the width and the height are set to the same, and it is also set to star. I'm actually going to indent the size by 50% and click on OK. So I have a star like this. Now I notice that it doesn't actually seem like the star we want, so we have to rotate it a little bit, and the angle is about -19 degrees because I've used this a couple of times, I know. So I'll resize this and I'll place this somewhere around here. You can actually see one of them in the images I have here, so that's probably trying to say I'm creating a duplicate of that same work. So I think that is it. I'll grab the move tool and I'll resize this like so, place it somewhere around here. Now once I've done that, on top of the gradient, I'm actually going to create another gradient fill. Make sure that the foreground color is set to black, and I'll go in and create one more. This time around I don't want the gradient or the darkened part coming in from the bottom, so I'll click on reverse, so it's going to come in from the top, and I'll click on OK. You can also go ahead and play with the opacity, but I'll leave mine as just that for now. So basically that is it for the entire design. Now what is left is with the text. So I'll create a new group and I'll call it text. I'll grab my type tool and I'll type in my information. Okay, so I'll highlight everything and I'm actually going to use a font called Trash. I hope I got this pronunciation right. So I'll highlight everything, make sure that I go into window and click on character. I actually want to uncheck this so that I get the actual font, and I'll go with a font of about 100. it looks a little bit huge, so I'll go with about 72, and I'll select a blue color from the top here like so. Okay, I think this is okay, so I'll just go with this one and I'll click on OK. Now the rest of my text is going to be beneath, so I'll type it in as and I'll change the font to the bold type of Unisans regular, of Unisans actually, and I'll reduce the size because I don't want my name to be too overcrowded. Anyway, if you want this exact PSD, I'm going to leave it linked in the description below. It's going to be the first link, so be sure to check it out. And I think that is all. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like to watch more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Fitr Concept, and I'll see you guys in the next one.